When I talk to a couple of them, they say, we're afraid you're going to shut down all the oil wells and all the oil refineries anyway, so why should we invest in them? I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade, and that's going to exceed and beyond that. We're going to need it.
So, Congressman, I suspect you were one of the many Republicans that laughed at that. How misconstrued is the president to think we're only going to need oil for another 10 years in this country?
He's completely out to lunch. You know, it's baffling that he could shut off domestic production. He could cut off their financing. He could shut down pipelines, et cetera, et cetera. He runs overseas and asks Putin and Saudi Arabia and even Venezuela to start upping their production. And then he starts criticizing, when the prices start rising like crazy, he criticizes the oil companies for making some profits. And then he talked about how the price of gasoline has come down while he took 40%, almost 50% of our strategic petroleum reserve out. That is there for national security purposes. He used it strictly for politics to get the price down. It's going back up, as we've seen over the last week or two. And it's just in Congress. It's kind of incredible to think the way this guy, the way his mind operates, because it's certainly not on common sense whatsoever. He said some things tonight that were just absolutely contradictory.
Let me ask you about this. You're on the infrastructure committee. He really touted the bipartisan infrastructure deal, which got over several dozen Republicans to vote for it. He said that the U.S. is going to start buying products from American companies, whether it's pipes or whatever it may be. Do you think that he will make good on that promise? I mean, is that something the Republicans can get behind? He keeps saying that he's going to build in America, but we really haven't seen a lot of progress on that front.
No, ma'am, and I don't think we will see. You know, he talked about bringing the jobs that disappeared. And the reason jobs have disappeared is because of the COVID lockdowns, because of overregulation, because of high taxes, and his Inflation Reduction Act, which was an absolute joke. He started talking about how that has really helped bring prices down, when in reality, we still have 40-year highs of inflation. The man just simply has been spinning and spinning. Now, I agree to the average person out there that listen to this, that doesn't really look at what's happening. It may sound like they've been very effective on the Democrat side. The reality is that, again, inflation is at 40-year highs. We've got a deficit that is at World War II records right now, percentage-wise, $31.5 trillion. We're going to add just the interest on our national debt alone will cost us about $8 trillion over the next 10 years. He just doesn't live in the real world.
Yeah, he's not showing that he's in touch with the average American. Congressman Babin, appreciate your time. The president has now left the chamber.
Hey, can I say one quick thing, Anna?
Real quick, Congressman.
Let me just say this, because he never mentioned securing that border. He talked about some immigration. He talked about people dying of fentanyl poisoning.
Right.
It's coming across as unsecured open borders.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I got that in there. It's terrible the way he is just ignoring the border.